How can I be of service? How can I be of service? How can I be of service?
We grab these couple of swords here and engage in some human resourcing.
What can I do for you?
IRL, I have mostly just been doing housework the past couple of weeks, other than dealing with my recovering kitty from an illness and things. You know, I pick up my son for the summer in a couple of weeks, and looking forward to that. I painted his room last weekend. He's 12, and his room was a little bit aged younger. Oh, house drops. I want these in the other game. Anyway, it's a little aged younger, right? You know, his room was maybe more appropriate for like an 8-year-old-ish. And now that he's 12, I took down some of the more kind of cutesy wall decorations and painted it all nice and fancy for him. I dig these caltrops. Before Legos, there were caltrops. And then caltrops were like, well, all that sharp metal, what if we just use plastic blocks instead? Yeah, I did let him pick the color. He picked like kind of a royal darker blue for the walls, which works pretty well for that space. Before I talk to that, let's speak to Humas here.
There is much to be done, and here are
Your voice down.
to do it.
Fish have not been biting. This is Fathom Well, where water from the bay runs into the great cisterns for use. Fish get disoriented in there, which makes for good fishing, most of the time, but not today. Well, I cross to the other side of the Fathom Well and ask Terex if he's having more good fortune than I. Yeah, why don't we take care of this real quick before we get back to the other game. This weekend is all about mowing the lawn and doing yard work. Holy moly, as my yard just exploded because of the nice, beautiful weather and heavy rain we've had. It's a jungle. How's the fishing? Why do you ask? Terex looks at me suspiciously. It looks like he hasn't got caught anything. If Humaz thinks he's going to do better than I, he's better off staying where he is. Tell him that. Okay. That's true, we also have D4s that also make for excellent caltrops. Maybe even better, because they're pointy on the top. I have stepped on a D4. Ouch. I should stay here. Does that mean he's having more luck than I am? Of course, I knew this was going to be the case. Perhaps he caught a great deal of fish and has them hidden somewhere. Alright. Again.
At last.
Oh, so the person's being a hypocrite. Umaz is the one who was hoarding fish secretly. This happens a lot. We come to the Fathom Well. Some days he catches more than I do. Sometimes I have better luck than he. Often we send a helpful stranger back and forth to inquire about the other's fortunes. There's really no end to it, at least until the sun goes down. And then we each go back to our homes and it starts again. Today we are equally matched. Let me turn down the music just slightly, at least with my own audio. So go down just a little bit. When are we planning to install the new launcher? No ETA to announce. Work has been pretty heavily underway on it for some number of months now, and it has had to start and stop a little bit based on other priorities, but work is progressing, and I would expect to see that. I mean, it's still later this year, but any further than that, I just am not really in a position to say. They are too competitive to fish on the same side of the pool, but thanks. Alright. So, we are making our way over to Monobas. So there is not a new launcher. We are planning to do some launcher work this year. And that's part of the, well, we've been working on it for a year plus now, because it's a big project. But we're getting there. So we'll, I would not expect a dramatically new looking launcher, but behind the scenes tech-wise, we got some tech-and things going in. That makes it possible for us to roll out two-factor authentication, for example, and some other things too that need to happen. So,
spare a moment for me.
You did it. Got my paycheck back. You're a fair and honest person. Why, thank you. I do my best. And how about you?
There is much to be done, and fewer hands.
I came here seeking a new venture. Business has been going okie dokie, but I lost something. It's a family heirloom. I've asked around. The Corsairs keep their valuables in a place called the Eastern Stores, but it is not a place open to the public, nor advertised. I've managed to secure a lead. The entrance to this storehouse should be on the eastern side of the lower ward in the cistern. So, we are heading, yep, back to where we just were. So, let us do that then. Side. Oh, no. Is it just in the same treasure? Oh, it's just the same treasure storeroom, isn't it? Well, I've been here before. Okay. Guess I should have spoken to them both when I was there. It is unlikely that we're going to be able to allow you to switch servers without additional logout, login. It's kind of, I know, you know, there could be a time where it's like, really, you guys have to log out every time. I'm sorry. We are ultimately a game that's been around for a while. Let's see. Maybe someday we can do something. As someone who has to log into the game client probably 20 times a day, I feel your pain. But yes, it is an available region. And I don't know that in terms of, like, I don't want the scope to perhaps get too big in your head about what it's going to be. I mean, I don't think we're going to see something super dramatically different. But behind the scenes and the technology it's going to run on is going to be an improvement. And there may be some pieces to it. For example, I think we're going to be swapping our launcher news feed. We want to finally get rid of the old, because the current launcher newsfeed is really based on the old forums. It's that same, what's called Drupal technology. Drupal is like a software provider, man. I like Drupal and all the rest. Anyway, the current launcher newsfeed is really based on the old forum tech. And we want to put out the new forum tech, and that's going to take the new launcher as well. So that's one of the bullet points of the new launcher. We're going to have a new launcher newsfeed. The goal, though, is it's still going to be basically text-based and be accessible publicly so that you can just grab the URL and drop it as a Discord feed or whatever else you want to do with it. And, but that may kind of look and feel a little different. We'll see how much we end up using it as well, but we're, I think, going to have some ability to perhaps be a little more robust with Bull Roar on that as well. Because right now the Bull Roar launcher, when you launch it, really just has the one text message on there. We might have some flexibility. It'll be a little easier to just sort of get messaging on there and do more that way. I don't know what the state of its interaction, what its interaction with 4K monitors is going to be. You know, there's a lot that needs to be done for 4K compatibility. It's just not there yet. I don't know if the launcher is going to be compatible in 4K or not. It would be cool if it was. That may not be possible. I have seen a little bit of UI work that is being done, though. You know, some of the icon upscaling and things like that. So I know that work is underway to offer some improvements in UI, but it's a big project. It's not going to happen quickly nor comprehensively that I'm aware of. It'll take a long time.
Do you have need of something?
So this heirloom is from a long line of merchants, and the raindrop was the first piece of jewelry ever purchased with the family fortune. Thanks. Alright, well, how about you, Shikavi?
There is much to be done, and fewer
Kino's
hands
convinced
by which
himself
to
he'll
do
one day rule the Corsairs and the city. I can't reach him. I'm accused of not being supportive and pushing him away. But I know for a fact, these Corsairs don't care for Kino. They use him as a slave, with promises of space on one of their boats and a share of the spoils. I've seen how they treat Kino. Please help me get through this. Okay. So, let's see what's up with that. We're kind of heading south here a little bit. This isn't it. Some year I myself am going to go 4K, but I don't know. It's going to be, I'm going to need a new computer, I think, to support it. Like, I've got a 3060, so it's 4K in 3 months. But I'm going to need a whole new motherboard and processor and that. And trying to, I've looked into, I was like, okay, so what kind of bandwidth do I need? What kind of computer do I need to stream in 4K? If I really want to try to do 4K 60, can I? The answer is yes, but it costs you a whole bunch of money. I have a 4K TV, but my computer setup is not at all 4K at the moment. It would be cool. Someday maybe. Someday maybe I'll go 4K. But I don't know that I actually care that much. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I don't know. Sadly, as I've gotten a little bit older, my eyes aren't really what they used to be. Not that they were ever particularly great. But I actually have struggled a little bit with some fine detail, say, viewing on 4K TVs. I mean, it looks nice. It looks better than 2K, but I'm only seeing maybe, if I'm lucky, 50% of the coolness that others are. This has to end. I fear for my child's life. If he continues down this path, there is only death in his future, and an early one. Can I please help convince the captain of Kino's crew to let him go? It's the only way. They may even respect this approach. If Kino will listen to anyone, it's his captain. The captain makes the deepest part of the gut his home, the southeast end of the home. Should be able to maybe wrap this up in the next couple minutes and do a good deed. I mean, we've been helping people all day long here with their HR issues and their need to encourage others to pay their bills. And now we're helping helping a captain with the decision-making process. The decision being to leave this poor kid alone. It's a form of negotiation, basically.
Today are most foul.
Kino's no more than a cabin boy, but a good one. He listens and obeys. For this insubordination, I will have your head. Alright, well. You see the Corsair King, you're right. He called me a slave. You think that shield will stop me? It will not. Alright. Done. Oop, that's not the right way. See if I can make the run without getting dismounted. Nope. 5. So, that is going to wrap it up then here in a few minutes with Court of the Rings on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. The show goes live on YouTube afterwards. It can take up to maybe 4 or 5 hours for it all to process and do everything it needs to do. But it'll go out live probably this evening at the latest. And you can find it over on YouTube. If you're watching over on YouTube, thank you very much. Please consider liking and subscribing. Feel free to comment below anything you want to say about what you hear on the show here today. And thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having a good time in the Lord of the Rings Online. Enjoy that crafting XP boost. Get those LI 9 rewards claimed. We'll see you for Track 10, Update 40, and a new Patrons Coffer next week. So have fun, everyone, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah, lookout point. Right, okay. All right, so let's finish up these three. And, yeah, we'll finish up those three in this area, and then we'll hand them in, and we'll see how we do. All right. Ride my blue roan pony. Of course. Yeah, still looking sharp on the blue roan pony. Love it. Love it. Okay. So, hey, folks, so let's talk about something. Actually, let's talk about current events. Want to talk about current events? So, the hunt for Gollum, except big budget this time, right? That, of course, was the big news yesterday. It's one day after Warner Brothers announced the new Gollum film, which, like, I don't know, like, which meme is bigger, right? That they're, that they're stealing fan film, of course, the fan film of the same name, or that they're, doing a film version of the wildly popular Gollum game. But in any case, as always, when a new adaptation comes around, I am keen to keep an open mind and see what happens. I think it could be very interesting. I have to say, though, I'm not excited about it. Yeah, Phil, the copyright claim thing. So, by the way, the copyright claim thing has been resolved. News. I was part of a Tolkien person discussion group that's been talking about that quite a bit. The WB did put a copyright claim in on that, and the fan film was taken down, but it's been reinstated this morning, is my understanding. Anyway, so I'm not I'm keeping an open mind. I will be interested to see what they do with it. I'll be delighted to talk about it one way or the other. But I have to admit, the news did not fill me with excitement. It didn't fill me with... And there are a couple reasons why it didn't fill me with excitement. One... So I've noticed that there are many people who are who were huge fans of the Peter Jackson films and who retain a massive nostalgia for everything about the Peter Jackson films. Including, of course, the entire original cast. And I've been hearing people say things like, oh yeah, I really hope they get some more films in that are, relevant to some of the characters so, they can still get the original cast involved. It's before it's too late. We've already lost Christopher Lee, and of course we just recently lost Bernard Hill. So, so I've heard people talking like that. And it's like, okay, so The Hunt for Gollum, that's going to be... I just blew past it entirely. Yeah, here I am talking and not even paying attention to my quest arrows. And of course, Gandalf, obviously, should be very involved in the Hunt for Gollum story, depending on what they do with the Hunt for Gollum story. Anyway, so yeah, that's there's... Oh, is this little fissure in the rock the opening in question? Oh, yes it is. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm patrolling the abandoned refuge. Oh, right, I was patrolling other refuges. I remember that. Spiders have overrun it. Oh, dear. Oh, hang on. What are we doing? You have discovered the ranger refuge of Thurindath, overrun with large spiders and thick, sticky webbing. It at least is very plausible to have giant spiders in this particular region. It is unclear how long the spiders have held the refuge since the rangers of Ithilien abandoned it, but they must be driven off if the rangers are to retake this key foothold in North Ithilien. Defeat the spiders, destroy their webs. Okay, no problem. All right, let's start with you. Anyway, okay. So as I say, Gandalf is obviously going to be heavily involved. So it's... Again, there are a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, so Ian McKellen, quick before it's too late. And I have to admit, I don't think that way. I don't think that way because I would very much rather see new people cast. Let's do some new things. Let's see some new things happen. I don't have the same sort of level of nostalgia of the for the original films, and to be I don't know. I mean, to be perfectly blunt, I think that even in the Hobbit films, Ian McKellen and Christopher Lee were harder to watch because Ian McKellen's 85 now, and people are like, well, Gandalf's old. Well, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I just I'm not, as I say, I'm just not invested there, and I think it would be so. That's one sort of division of the ways that I have found between myself and some others who have responded to this new film announcement. Can I one-shot this guy? Almost. Not quite. Anyway, so it goes a little further than that. I'm a little bit trepidatious of the very fact that this is oh look, it's Andy Serkis doing a Gollum movie, right? And as I've always said, the most important duty of an adaptation is to tell a great story. And it may well be. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to make assumptions. It may well be that that... Oh, whoops. Oh, there, big guy. It may well be that they're telling the Hunt for Gollum story because they were like, oh, we find this story enormously compelling and we can make this into, like, you know, we have a vision for how this story is going to make a phenomenal film, right? Like, we have this vision for the story that we want to tell, and the Hunt for Gollum, like, this is exactly the story that we want to tell, and it's going to be awesome, right? And the fact that we're getting Andy Serkis more Gollum time is just, like, icing on the cake, right? It's entirely possible that that's what they're thinking. But
We will leave you in peace.
I'm not confident. Not confident that that is the case. Mostly because, in part, frankly, I don't find The Hunt for Gollum a very compelling story. I mean, like, it's fine. Like, it's an interesting element of, like, Third Age lore. And I'm certainly not saying that no good story can be made of it. But what I would say is that of all the Third Age stories, assuming, right, that, like, Third Age is where they're, you know, focused, which is fine. You know, of all the Third Age stories that are available to them, I don't... that just does not seem to me even in the top 10 of most interesting or compelling stories. So, you know, I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's fine. Maybe it'll be great. I think that's entirely possible. My concern, what I would not like to see is to see them kind of going through the motions just because they're like, hey, everybody loves Andy Serkis's Gollum, so let's do a feature film of Andy Serkis's Gollum, right?
Hello,
just
hello.
for the sake of doing a feature film of Andy Serkis's Gollum. That would be sad, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Druid's Fire says, The Hunt for Gollum in the text is like a page worth of commentary. It feels like turning Battleship into a movie, not really all that interested. Yeah. Like I said, there are interesting things they can do. It's not that it can't be made into an interesting story, but of course there's another point which a lot of people are like underestimating or not thinking about really. Though the person who was thinking about this immediately was James Tauber. I was talking with him about it, and he was saying, well, one of the biggest problems here, or, you know, one of the biggest sort of framework challenges, is that what they said in the Lord of the Rings films has already significantly changed the Hunt for Gollum story. They already altered that very significantly in the films. It is... Anyway, so... what are they going to do? Where do they start? Right? Because they're not just starting from what Tolkien wrote in The Lord of the Rings and what he expanded in the Unfinished Tales, which they can't officially adapt, but which they can unofficially adapt, as people always do. Anyway, like, it's not. They're not just starting from that text. They're starting from I assume they're starting with consistency from the films. I assume they're not going to tell a story that's inconsistent with the story, like radically inconsistent. That just like relies on a wholly different history, independent of the Lord of the Rings films. So, yeah. And Drowsnake, this is one of the things that I find that I don't love. Drowsnake says it'd be a shame if the adaptation decisions of Jackson and crew defined all future Tolkien film adaptations. Yeah, there's a lot of things to like about the Peter Jackson film adaptations, but there are lots of other alternatives and other decisions that could have been made, and it would be interesting to see those. The other thing, and this to me is a post-Hobbit film, thing, and I understand, like, I'm not just going to bash Peter Jackson for the Hobbit films. There were a lot of, circumstances involved and whatever. I get it. I'm not gonna be unkind, or I'm gonna try not to be unkind to Peter Jackson and, what led to the Hobbit films. At the same time, however, when I look at the big picture, that is the big picture of Peter Jackson's film career. The Lord of the Rings films were awesome, right? But I can't myself look at Peter Jackson's larger directorial career. What am I looking for? I'm spooking people. Okay. I can't look at Peter Jackson's entire directorial career and really be on the anything by Peter Jackson is like I insist Peter Jackson or bust. Like it must be Peter Jackson because the Lord of the Rings films were very good. But, do you see what I mean? Like, again, I don't want to be unkind, but it's not like his career has established him as one of the greatest directors, in film. Anyway, so I'm just saying. Yeah. It is very possible. So Phil, conceivably, Phil says it's possible that after the storm of protest about studio interference in the Hobbit films, that Peter Jackson and the crew have managed to get more freedom this time, along with more prep time. Very possibly. Very possibly. That and maybe that will be good. Also, that's a little bit my point, though, in that it's not obvious to me that, I mean, maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. Awesome. I mean, oops, I didn't shout at him. I just shouted near him. That's not enough. Maybe it will be that their team entirely freed from, left free to do what they want to do, will produce an awesome product. That is very possible. I just don't have confidence in that. I'm certainly not assuming it, and I don't have confidence in it. I'm open to seeing it. I hope I do see it, but I'm not confident in it. And do you know the thing that makes me say that more than anything else? It's my experience as a reader, right? There are a lot of authors. Like, the fact that you produce a work of genius does not mean that you are an excellent and reliable author, right? Case in point. Ever read anything else Bram Stoker wrote? Oh boy, not good. Not good at all, in fact. Quite bad. Bram Stoker is not a great writer. Certainly not a reliable writer, right? I mean, and I think many of you know my feelings about Dracula, right? Yeah, hooray for the wear of the white worm. Exactly. That Bram Stoker's second most famous novel, and boy, holy cow. Anyway, yeah, again, I think, as I say, I think that many here know how much I love and respect Dracula. It's one of the greatest novels ever. Like, it's just brilliant and one of my favorite books of all time. But that doesn't make Bram Stoker an excellent and reliable author who is like, anything he wrote, I know it's going to be awesome. Like, that is not the case at all. And so, the Hobbit films and some of the other things like King Kong and stuff like that have all, led me to wonder, looking at Peter Jackson's overall corpus, leads me to wonder, is he another such example? There are many such in the history of art. People who have produced a great work, a truly great work, through some, concatenation of circumstance and inspiration. And, I can't pretend to, know and understand everything about how all that stuff works, right? But I mean, nobody really understands all about how that stuff works. But anyway, there's a difference between those who do catch lightning in a bottle and create a work of complete genius, and those who are in fact great craftsmen, great and reliable craftsmen who can be counted on to produce brilliant work almost every time they set their hand to something. And I hear people talk about Peter Jackson as if he's that, but one brilliant, set of films doesn't make that. Yeah. Anyway, I have not seen, no, so, and I want to be careful. Like, I'm not trying to bash Peter Jackson, because Carissa, I have not seen They Shall Not Grow Old. I have not seen everything Peter Jackson has done. So I'm not trying to offer a full referendum on his career, and I'm certainly not trying to declare him a failure. I'm just saying that I don't feel the same way that so many people, that many Tolkien fans seem to, or many film fans anyway, seem to. That the excitement and relief at hearing the news that Peter Jackson and his people are, oh yeah, I was in the right little valley. I just don't usually come up that way. That Peter Jackson and his people are doing another feature film. That itself does not lead me to think oh yeah, so this is obviously gonna be awesome. We've had one awesome set of films. We've had one horrible set of films. So as far as Peter Jackson's Tolkien work is considered, he's batting 500, which is a great batting average, though in a small sample size. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. JJ says Peter Jackson is no Feanor. Well, okay. So Feanor has his faults. But as an artist, yeah, sure. Could you count on the fact that everything Feanor made was going to be a work of genius? Oh, yeah. No, you totally could. Unfortunately, you could also rely on the fact that he was going to be a horrible person, generally, and make really bad decisions. But from an artistic standpoint, 100%. 100%. You could say maybe we just don't hear about Feanor's duds, right? Possibly.
I will choose rangers in our band to up to this task.
I have heard that a force of orcs and Easterlings seeks to waylay King Alessar's army as he proceeds northward through the pass of Cirith Niggin. These monsters and their foul allies are monstrous fools if they think to use our own tricks against us. This is the land of the moon, and many are the moons that have risen and set upon my life. Still I am here, Faramir's most loyal friend, and I will aid him until I breathe my very last. Younger men you will find, quicker perhaps, but none will know this land as I do. It is neither my lot nor my desire to lead in anything but this. I will lead our men into the woods and against our foes and back again. I will choose rangers of our band that are up to the task.
Okay. All right, that was quite a speech. And you're right, Edith. 500 batting average is good in baseball, but a 50% average is not so good. Is not a passing grade. Yeah, I hear you. Again, it's only two. Things happen, but I always get turned around. This junction, man, when you come.
It's closing time, gentlemen. If any of you have changed your mind, it's time to go. James will see you out. No one.
Do you know why toys are important? They help children dream. They let them imagine a better future beyond this blasted war. They give them hope. Years ago, I met a man who understood.
I just want to trade a few things.
Sure thing.
so damn hungry. Maybe I'll get another drink.
Just looking to trade a little.
I'll do well.
I'm looking forward to checking on Clem and the optometrist station.
Hey,
What's up, boss?
wait there.
I'll be here
Come on.
when you need me. What do you need?
Hey, got any gear for sale?
Next time we're back in Nuka Town, you're welcome to take a look.
I don't like Harrison, and I don't like you, Gage.
You're the over.
Stay out of my way and we'll get
Gage.
along just fine.
You need something, boss?
Are things all right between us?
We're good. We'd be better
Hey.
if we were getting rich and killing. Hey, boss.
Hey, got any gear for sale?
Sorry, boss.
Heads up.
Sounds like a... What's up, boss?
You should head back.
Yeah, all right, boss. I'll head on home. Boss.
Hey, hun. Hey, hun.
What's up? Can I do something for you?
Can we chat?
Sure.
What's on your mind?
Thought it was about time we celebrate this partnership. Here's to clear roads, clear skies, and good company. This one's on me.
I didn't get anything for you.
I don't need a present. I've got you.
What's on your mind?
I think it's time for another celebration, don't you? Here's to clear...
Thank you. I'm sure that will come.
Oh, good.
Hey,
Can I do something for you?
can we chat?
I'd like that.
What's on your mind?
We're here in Nuka World. It's so exciting.
What's on your mind?
Not much. How you doing? Feeling it?
I'll be fine. Thanks.
Me too. It's a good day, isn't it?
That's all.
smarter than you think. Folks say their brains are rotted away, but I've seen them set up ambushes around dead bodies.
infested with bloodworms and who knows what else. It's not safe.
You must be the no good outlaws that are coming out of wells.
All right. Tell me what I need to do.
The door to Mulligan's mine is locked up. I got a key in a safe by the theater, but wouldn't you know, I to the safe was you'll need to talk to my three amigos. Doc Phosphate, One-Eyed Ike, and the Giddy Up Kid. Prove to them you're tough enough to take on the outlaws, and they'll give you their part of the combination. Good luck, little doggy. And don't forget your complimentary deputy uniform. Gondola.
Attention! All contestants for the Nuka-Cola drinking contest must turn in their identity waivers before they will be allowed to participate. Attention! All matinee showings of the Phantom of the Nuka at the parlor are sold out. Tickets for evening showings are still
Help me
available.
corral my missing giddy-up buttercups.
All right.
Good luck out there. Remember, check the Nuka-Cola refreshment stands.
Thirsty? Head over to Doc Phosphate Saloon in Dry Rock Gulch to purchase an ice cold.
Check all the Nuka-Cola refreshment stands. Those giddy-up buttercups have got to be hiding around there. Good job there, cowgirl. If I ever need someone to tame these from, I'll give you a holler. Here's my part of the safe combination. Good luck in Mulligan's Mine. Thanks again for corralling that horse. You look hard there, stranger.
Attention guests! If you've lost your hidden happy glasses, Additional pairs can be purchased from any souvenir stand in any of our parks.
I need you to deliver. One is just upstairs, and the other two are in town. You game.
Sounds easy enough.
Good deal. Say hello to Prospector Owen, Miss Trixie, and Andy Hank for me.
Guide maps for our hedge maze are available for confused visitors at the Safari Adventure Park office for only $35. I'll count to 3, and then I'll say, draw. First one to hit the other wins.
Come in. Let's go.
Well, okay. All right, gunslinger. Let's take this out to the street. I count to 3, then we draw. 1, 2, strong. 2, slow, partner. Let me know when you're ready to try again. You ready to slash?
Come in. Let's go.
Well, all right. All right. Gunslinger. Let's take this out to the street. I count to 3, then we draw. 1, 2. Roll up there. Big down there. You gotta follow. Let me know when you're ready to try again. You ready to slash?
I think a little administration.
Employee manual login recognized. Exhibition bypass protocol engaged. Handing over part 1 of this week's state combination rebooting. Good job, did old prospector Owen. Give you one of his great tall tales as a reward for his drink. What about Miss Pixie and the Hank?
Oh, yeah! Told me all about the California Gold Rush. Fun and educational.
Now that's good to hear. You did a fine job, partner. Here's my part of the same combination. And hey, why not take a few more bottles of Nuka Cola while on your way out, courtesy of Nuka Cola.
Hey, hun.
Won't move from this spot.
Hey.
Much.
Hey.
Hey!
you.
I don't like those weird ass robots. Sitting there, drinking like people, wearing clothes like people. It's creepy.
Watch out!
Chain on the other side.
Attention.
Have what it takes to be one. Did you have fun in Mulligan's mine? Tussle with any mad outlaws?
That mine is the nest for a bloodworm queen. Now that she's gone, this whole area should be a lot safer.
I can't understand a word of what you're saying, but you've been the best deputy this side of the Mississippi. Here, take some souvenir bottle caps of the Coca-Cola Janitorial Service. You and your friends are welcome in Dry Rock Gulch anytime.
Umbar is a free city at last. Fair winds to you.
Fair winds to you.
Fair winds to you.